What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? Welcome into the Scouting Report. Nathan and Alan here. We are your Heel brothers, and we are covering the Week 7 matchup of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets coming to Kenan to face our North Carolina Tar Heels. Alan, we've got a great guest with us today. We have Rec Talk with us, a guy who's been covering the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets for a little while, I do believe, over there on his own channel. Got a great following over there. So if you are a Georgia Tech viewer and you have never heard of Rec Talk, be sure his link will be down in the description below. Be sure to go check him out and give him a subscribe, man. He does a great job over there covering the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. What's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
Doing well, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely, man. We're glad to have you on. You take the time to come out here and hang out with us. This is actually a special game for the North Carolina Tar Heels. As a matter of fact, Georgia Tech just celebrated their cancer awareness game last weekend. And this weekend, North Carolina will be celebrating their cancer awareness weekend. And we want to take the time really quickly to talk about Tylee Craft and Kyle Tierney. These are two guys that have been at North Carolina. Tylee's been with us for 4 years now. He was a very highly touted recruit coming out as a wide receiver, and unfortunately has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. He's been battling that for a few years. Carolina faithful, we have known about this for a while. The Tylee Craft shirts, the wristbands. This has been a push because this is such a good kid, man. He was given award from Disney a couple years ago for I think it was Courageous Person of the Year, some type of award a couple of years ago. And currently right now he is struggling really bad in the hospital. He was hospitalized before the Pittsburgh game. He has been more operating as a player's coach and has been doing a great job as the heart and soul of our team. He always lifts everybody up, and he's at every single meeting that happens, no matter what he's got going on. Chemo doesn't matter. He's always there. So this game, and for him and Cal Tierney as well, who we just learned has been diagnosed with cancer, this game goes out to them. So if you are going to Kenan Stadium this weekend, be sure stop at every single store in Franklin Street that does sell one of these shirts or one of those wristbands like Alan just showed you. Be sure and purchase one and wear it to that game. Let's just bleed that entire Kenan Football Center and Kenan Stadium out with Tylee Craft and Tylee Strong stuff, and let's support these people, not only for them but also everybody that is suffering with cancer. So I just want to take a time to briefly think about that. Thoughts and prayers go out to both of them and also to everyone that is suffering with cancer. We've known about it in our own personal lives. We've had to deal with it, our family members, and it is an ugly thing, man. So let's go out there and let's have ourselves a good football game. We got a great opponent coming in this Saturday, 12 p.m. Georgia Tech. Brent Key leads them in. This is a team that started off the year with a big win over there in Dublin, Ireland, over the Florida State Seminoles, a team that we thought was going to be really good, but it's turned out regardless. Nonetheless, had an impressive win by the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, and they have just continued to build on that. Man, give us a overview of this team. What should North Carolina fans be expecting when Georgia Tech walks in to Kenan Stadium this Saturday?
Well, I think the first thing with Georgia Tech, is led by Haynes King. Haynes King has kind of been the entire offense, a guy that, he's like a 4.5 flat 40 guy, and he's best when he throws on the run. So even if you get him out of the pocket, he kind of does better with that, and just a good playmaker for Tech. Now, last year Tech was a dominant running team. They led the ACC in rushing. This year really struggled to run, especially between tackles. So I would think if you're North Carolina's defense, you'd think you can kind of stack the box and not have much trouble with Tech's running game. Defensively, Tech is like the tale of two cities. 11th in the country in run defense, which should be an interesting matchup with Hampton. Hampton probably is the best running back in the conference going up against the best rush defense in the conference. But then on the other side, Georgia Tech's like 90-something in pass defense. They've really struggled defending the pass, and they've struggled getting to the quarterback. So kind of up and down kind of team. But yeah, that's kind of what we got going on in Atlanta.
You know, I want to kind of lead off here with I want to talk about Brent Key. Brent Key came in a couple seasons ago as an interim head coach. As a matter of fact, I think it may have been the first game as him as an interim head coach. He was in Kenan Stadium. It was a game that we were there and got the big win over the 9-1 North Carolina Tar Heels at the time, which eventually led to the complete downfall and destruction of our season. Talk to us about his impact on this team. You kind of mentioned the run game, offensive line. I'll get to them in a little bit, but he's completely flipped the aura and the tenacity of this team. So talk to him about his impacts on, Georgia Tech, the football program as a whole.
Well, you told people to go follow me and stuff. So if you're a North Carolina fan, you go follow me. Like, I make no bones on my channel. I hate one person, and it's Jeff Collins, who is UNC's DC now. And I bring that up because he took over a mess that guy gave him. So I'm sure you guys are thinking, hey, he didn't work out as a head coach. Maybe he can be some sort of DC. But I don't know that there was a worse situation for someone to take over than Brent Key. His predecessor had won 10 games in 3 1/4 seasons. There was a massive culture issue, and not with things going on at UGA, but more with just toughness, not really taking practice all that seriously. And UNC wasn't the first game. The first game was Pitt on the road. He was a 3-touchdown underdog. Got a win there. Then he beat Duke at home, and then went on the road and beat UNC. And the thing is, his starting quarterback goes down in his interim year. Then his backup quarterback goes down. So we have 2 halves of a quarterback that he was kind of able to make work. And I think that just speaks to the kind of coach, Key is. He's a hard-nosed, kind of old-school guy, run the ball kind of guy. And, there's a ton of people in Atlanta excited about him. He signs the first 5-star that we'd ever signed in our history. Really got things going, and a buy-in from the fan base. We just started a $500 million fundraising initiative. We've already raised $300 million. A lot of that has to do with Key and J-Bat and those guys.
And real quickly, I want to give him and follow up with that. You guys are doing some really, and you just hinted on it with the 5-star. You guys are doing some good work in recruiting. I saw you guys just flipped, I think about a month or so ago, a 4-star from another Power 4 conference. And so it looks like, Georgia Tech. Right. Okay. That's his name. I completely forgot about him. But
yeah, and he's at Prince Avenue, which is 5 minutes from Athens. So you're flipping them in Georgia's backyard, which is huge. I mean, Georgia Tech hasn't even recruited the same players as Georgia in the past, or even in a way, North Carolina. Like, recruiting hasn't been North Carolina's problem as of late, right? It's kind of taking advantage of the talent you have. And yeah, Key's really stepping up the recruiting for sure.
Yeah, I just got a few defensive stats, and I'll lead into the question. So it looks like the defense as a whole is playing well, only giving up 21 points a game. 3, like you said, with the running and passing defenses. It is a tale of 2 cities, because I got it at 100. Last stats I saw is 104 yards of rushing per game, but then you're giving up an average of 251 passing yards per game. And then in that same token, you forced 3 turnovers forced 2 turnovers, but recovered another. You've recovered 2 fumbles and 1 interception.
Yeah, we're not getting many turnovers.
So that's going to be my question. So for a defense that's playing really good defense, what do you think is the hindrance, or why these turnovers isn't coming? Is it just the ball's not bouncing Georgia Tech's way? Because it looks like Georgia Tech's playing really good defense, or is it just a simple fact that, you can have the ball, but you're just not going to go very far with it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'd say Georgia Tech's playing really good defense when half of what you should be able to do as a defense, you're not doing very well, i.e., getting to the quarterback and pass defense. I just can't say you're playing great defense now.
Same here, brother. Same here.
Yeah, they're not giving up a ton of points necessarily, but look, the problem, for us, one, we're struggling getting to the quarterback. I don't know how many sacks we have on the year, 3 or 4, maybe. And along with that, it's not like we're not getting sacks, but we're affecting the quarterback. I remember Nick Saban talking about this. Just because you're not getting a lot of sacks doesn't mean you're not affecting the quarterback. If he can't hold the ball for that long, that's affecting the quarterback. Not the case with Georgia Tech necessarily either. They did improve last week over Duke. They did pressure a lot better, but your defensive backs can only cover for so long. So I think for Georgia Tech, it starts up front. And what makes us really good at defending the run is kind of a hindrance in defending the pass. So we have a linebacker, Eford, who's the cowboy collar has made a resurgence. I don't know when that trend started. Yeah. He's a menace stopping the run, but if you get him in coverage, he's gotten picked on a little bit and he can struggle. So
you guys have 6 sacks for 39 yards.
Okay, so 6 sacks. So we're averaging about 1 a game. But yeah, I think Eford, I mean, he's leading not leading the country, but he's somewhere up there in like tackles. It's just we got to get the right personnel in based on what the offense is showing us. I think that's the biggest improvement Tech can make.
Well, on the other side of the ball, you guys are ranked 5th in offensive efficiency in the ACC. So this is an offense that's moving the ball down the field, like you said, led by Haynes King. But also, I want to hit more on that offensive line that you guys talked about just a little bit ago. You brought back 4 starters from that offensive line last year. They did lead the league in rushing last season. So tell me, what's been the trick? Because 2 seasons ago, this was one of the worst offensive lines in the country. And this is something that North Carolina has struggled with, definitely. It's definitely been the offensive line. I feel like this year's been our most stable, but it's something that we haven't turned the key on, if you will, in that category. So tell me, what's been the catalyst of getting that offensive line flipped to where you guys have only given up 1 sack this year? Attribute that a little bit to Haynes. Yeah, and attribute that to Haynes King, his athleticism as well. So it makes him hard when the pressure does come, he's able to move. But to only give up 1 sack and just 6 games here, that speaks a lot to Georgia Tech. Tell us what's been the key to getting that offensive line unlocked.
Well, the key to the offensive line is Brent Key. Look, Brent Key played at Georgia Tech. He was, I think, he played right guard at Georgia Tech. And we made a good hire in Jeep Wade as our offensive line coach. We got him from App State, and Key's really building the team the right way. And we are in a rebuild. Like, we're rebuilding our program from where we've been, and he's doing it from the offensive line out, which is or you want to do it from the lines of scrimmage out. Now that was really the focus. Last year we had a freshman All-American, Ethan McKinney. Strange he's not starting this year, though I think that's changing. We have a guy named Joe Gilbert. He was a part of the 2009 ACC championship team that comes on the show a lot and talks about offensive line because it's so overlooked. Like, a lot of people say, yeah, the offensive line is important, but you really know kind of the intricacies of that. Like, it's probably it's not probably. It is the position that chemistry is the most important. When you look at dynasties in the NFL, any one of them, I can guarantee you they have an offensive line that they've all played together for like 4 or 5 seasons in a row. They know what calls to make. You're trusting that guy, but beside you, if you're letting the guy in front of you go, he's cutting them on the way down or whatever. We have done really well in pass protections. I think it's a little bit easier to pass protect because most of the time everything's in front of you and your first step is back. In run protection, you're a little closer to it, and we've struggled with that. So offensive line's done really good. Pass defense, I don't really know what's going on with us struggling to run between the tackles, other than we've been really banged up. Jamal Haynes has been injured. Haynes King is evidently nursing a leg injury and playing injured. And credit to him, he's not sliding. I can't tell you the last time I saw our quarterback slide, and he probably runs 10 times a game. But I did notice during the Duke game, as far as trying to run the ball, we were rotating a lot more guys in. So, I'm happy with the offensive line. We just got to get the running game going.
Well, you mentioned Kyle Eford.
Yep.
He's assisted and or soloed on 42 tackles. He accounts for 42 tackles combined solo and assisted. But outside of him, who would you say is some of your top impact players on defense that, you know, us as UNC fans, if we're hearing their names called, then it's going to be a long day for Carolina?
We have had a guy that stepped up recently. He transferred from Penn State, Jordan Vandenberg. I think he set a squat record at Penn State, squatted like 600 and something pounds. Jeez. Transferred in to Tech, did not start until Duke, had a sack against Duke. Just a tough redheaded kid. Like, I don't know what another way to put it, you know, like,
no, that's great.
Doesn't care about the contact getting in there. He's been good for us. We have a true freshman right now, Tajay Butler, number 15, playing linebacker, who's kind of the complement to Eford, guy that's a little faster, maybe a little less to the ball, but just a little bit better in coverage. I think he, by the end of the year, is going to prove to be. He's not starting at the moment, but he gets rotated in a lot. He's been a big player for us. We've got a kid, Clayton Powell-Lee and Lamiles Brooks at safety, that really haven't popped off this year. Lamiles Brooks was one that picked off Drake May. I think that was like his first pick and however many passes in Key's interim year. They have the ability to really step up. And I would really like to see them step up in this game with a quarterback. You're playing your backup quarterback, right? He's kind of had turnover issues, kind of struggled to know where the ball needs to go at times, but also it's made a lot of big plays for us or for you. It'll be interesting to see what the secondary matchup is like. But those guys stand out to me. I think for the defense, it's just collectively, you know, they've played well together.
Well, you brought out a couple of guys that stepped up, but I tell you, on the offensive side of the ball, two names that do pop up off the stat sheet, and you mentioned one of them for sure. Jamal Hands, running back's got 77 carries this year, 366 yards. You said he's been banged up a little bit, so you expect that number will probably end up being a whole lot higher at the end of the season. But also Malik Rutherford, wide receiver, 37 receptions, 474 yards, and he ranks 6th in the ACC. Top tier receiver. Tell me the impact alongside of a Haynes King, the impact of two players like that does for your offense.
Yeah, probably the best kept secret for Georgia Tech is kind of how sneaky good their wide receiver core is. We return a freshman All-American and Eric Singleton Jr. And I actually we have like a fan day, I'm sure you guys do too, like during the spring or something. And I saw him and I was like, what, you run a 10-500 meter? And he goes, no, 10-2. So the kid runs a 10-2 100-meter. He's a track star, runs track for Georgia Tech. Always a deep threat for us. I think he led us in yardage last year. But Malik Rutherford's, if you watch Georgia Tech's offense, we like to run a lot of perimeter screens, and we like to get the ball out quick. That's part of why Haynes King's completion percentage is so high, because he's not really throwing downfield that much or in a tight window. But Malik Rutherford, what makes him special is from the time he catches the ball to getting into that final gear, it seems almost instant. So if you don't get a hand on him quick, he can make some things happen. I'm trying to think of, who else on offense, because we've been banged up at running back. We've had a kid, Chad Alexander, who wasn't even on scholarship, a walk-on who just earned his scholarship after having a good showing at Duke. So I'd be looking out for him too. But that unit's played well together for us. It's just been a little bit schizophrenic with not being able to run the ball at times, or not being as efficient as I'd like to be. It surprised me that you said we're one of the more efficient offenses in the country. That wasn't my gut feel from watching them this season.
Yeah. It was kind of surprising to see it myself, but that was in the ACC right there. Okay. But Alan, you got your last one here.
Well, mine's usually kind of funny, so you just go ahead.
I went first, so that's it.
Yeah.
3 questions each, brother.
Yeah, I thought I went first. Sorry. So this Rambling Rick, that's the car. How old is that thing? How did that become a thing for Georgia
Yeah,
Tech?
so it officially being the mascot, I think, happened in the 1960s. There are probably people that watch my channel that'll throw stones at me for not knowing exactly the date. But it goes way back, I want to even say to the 20s. We had a president of the school that wanted to buy this old Model T. Bobby Dodd ended up giving him $1,000 for it. And I guess that car kind of got kept. And then in the 1960s, there was kind of a rally to make that the mascot. And it used to go to away games with us. Like they take it like we used to be in the SEC, right? So we go play Tennessee. Well, Tennessee dumps orange paint all over it. And then that was the last time that the Rambling Wreck ever went on the road.
Volunteers.
Yeah, you can't you can't trust the SEC guys. So that wasn't the reason we left.
They would probably dump paint on Ramsey too. I bet you. I bet you.
Yeah.
So y'all just kind of kicked the Yellow Jacket out and said, "No, we'd rather have this."
Well, we're the Yellow Jackets too. I mean, it's kind of like Alabama's an elephant and a tide, and then Auburn is a war eagle and a tiger. You know, we can't choose just one thing. So the Rambling Wreck leads the team out on the field, and there's a student that's tasked with like caring for that vehicle the whole time, and then there's a whole club that just of like engineers that just maintain the vehicle. I think it's like a 1920 Model AT. I should know that too, but it's a cool car. It makes a ooga sound. So I don't know. It's a cool deal.
That's pretty cool, man. Well, on top of that, you know, something that we like to do at the very end of all these shows is we like to ask about the traditions that maybe people don't understand. You know, we've had or people don't know about. You know, we've had a few different ones. I think one of the ones that's been my favorite has been the Charlotte 49ers. They do shots off of a pickaxe at every single one of their games. I think that is highly interesting, and there's been a few different ones as well. But tell me something. What do Georgia Tech fans do? I mean, you're still down there in the state of Georgia. We know how them Georgia Bulldogs get down there. They get a little crazy. Not being too far away. I'm sure Georgia Tech fans get a little crazy too. Tell us about what happens down there at Bobby Dodd in Atlanta.
We have several cool traditions, man. I mean, Georgia Tech, this is something people probably wouldn't realize that are younger fans today. Probably has one of the richest traditions of any college football program, just because we've played for so long. Like our stadium's the oldest on-campus stadium in the country. There's another stadium on the campus that's older than Bobby Dodd. Sometimes it feels like it. Thank God we're raising this money to renovate it. We do.
Wish we could raise money to renovate.
Man, y'all got money. You just got to get someone in there to.
We got money, but they want to put it everywhere that's not football. But believe the football team.
Olympic rowing.
We've been talking about that a lot recently.
Yeah. Man, there's a few things during the games. Like we have the Budweiser song, and everyone kind of bumps up and down, and you got to be out of phase. Now, I don't know if you're engineers, you got to be out of phase with the guy beside you. I won't bore you with all the Georgia Tech. There's a rec talk tradition, and I couldn't come on a Tar Heel show, all right, because I do a lot of trash talk. I'm not going down that route right now, but the rec talk tradition is the hell with Jeff Collins, and you would feel that way too if a guy completely bodied your program. In fact, I'm going to be at this game. I'm coming to Chapel Hill, and I bought seats on the third row. I've probably recorded 40 hours just talking about this guy, and he's going to know I'm there. It's going to be a reckoning.
Rec talk showing up in fashion, huh?
Are you on the home side? I'm assuming you're sitting on the home side.
I'm behind the Carolina bench. Jeff will know that I was there. I'm not even lying. I might get kicked out of Kenan Stadium, and I'm like, I don't plan on going back, so it's fine. But it'll be a good time for sure.
Now, how would you feel? This is a question I just got to ask now. It's we're at the end of the show. We're having fun now. How would you feel if Mac Brown resigns after this game and Jeff Collins' name interim head coach?
I'd give my life to Jesus live on stream, man. Like, I mean, Christmas could never come again. In fact, I just did like a Joker video, and that's going to end up being the reveal, because then, like, I would never. I mean, we beat North Carolina 3 in a row, so I would never have to worry again about North Carolina beating Georgia Tech if Jeff. You know, I mean, he talked 5 minutes about the get back coach. Did you hear his latest press conference?
Yeah, I listened to it, because I'll be honest with you, dude, I have no idea what happened down at Georgia Tech. I got no clue. I was going to look at it, but I was like, you know what? Quite frankly, you know, coordinators, you know, a damn good coordinator can make a good head coach, but not every one of them translates. And it looks like
usually they get hired pretty quickly.
Yeah, normally, like, you know, you can kind of like. I just don't feel like he translates as a head coach. You know,
didn't he take over for the the coach before him? Like,
yeah, so
triple option.
He took over for Paul Johnson, so obviously he had a triple option roster. All the sympathy in the world for that. Then you learn that instead of having practice conventionally, and I'm not making this up, he has players slapping each other with pool noodles to simulate contact. And then you learn during the COVID, I swear to God, strike me dead if I'm lying.
Wow. I'm actually very surprised.
This is during COVID, instead of practicing, he had the players doing home run derbies. And like I could list off a laundry list of things. That happens, and then he tells the fans, hey, tell me if I sound like him. If you don't see the improvement in this team, then you don't want to see it. Then he gets beat 100-0 by Notre Dame and Georgia and gets paid $11 million for all that. So there's a ton of, make no mistake, there's a ton of bad blood between Brent Key and Jeff Collins. Like, I don't know if you noticed the question when they're, hey, what's your relationship with Key? And he's like, we used to be friends. And then he was kind of weird about it.
Yeah, I noticed that.
He thinks that Key basically led a coup to have him fired. So, like, there won't be any shaking hands between these two guys. And make no mistake, you're going to get whatever your defense looks like in this game. It's going to be the best thing that Jeff can put out there, because there ain't no one he wants to beat worse than Georgia Tech. He tweeted Philly stuff after he got fired because he hates the city of Atlanta now. Like, he won't say Georgia Tech's name. He calls us the other place. So anyways, I went off on a rant with that, but
no, I'll be honest with you. I think there is, you know, for people that don't understand what's going, and don't get me wrong, it's something that we have definitely noticed. Like, you know, I've noticed your videos talking about Jeff, and I'm like, what is going? Like, I have literally like sat there and wondered, I'm like, why? Like, why does he make so many videos about Jeff Collins? And I didn't know, like, I had no clue what's going on over there and what happened. I just knew that things did not work out over there, and it just seems like there's some really bad heat. And, you know, you see that sometimes with places like certain schools that just didn't work out, and they just get mad at him But I can understand some heat that comes out of that for sure. And it's kind of surprising because from what we've saw at Carolina, that has not been resembled. So it's shocking.
I haven't seen any pool noodles, bro.
Yeah. The only thing I've saw is like something that resembles like that is they have used a lot of the padding for like hits. I have noticed that.
Oh yeah,
that was early spring.
Like these big like donut looking things they use for like live tackling drills.
Oh, they like roll it and then you have to.
Yeah, they roll it and then you tackle.
Yeah. I have noticed that. But that's about it. But obviously, I'm not at practice every day, so I can't say for sure.
Well, his philosophy, like I'm sure you've noticed that he has green dot and red dot plays, and if it's a green dot play, then he daps everyone up. Now, I'm an old soul, so I didn't know what dapping was. I had to go look it up, but to me, it didn't seem like a football term, and I was correct when I looked. It's not a football term.
Yeah. He is definitely, he's a high energy guy, which I'm all about. I'm all about the high energy guy. And, you know, he hasn't been a coordinator since
Mississippi State.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
And offense has changed quite a bit.
Since then. And the only thing I you know, and you know, we'll kind of get out of the scouting report for this, but yeah, we'll wrap this up right after. So you're getting extra stuff on the scouting report this week, guys.
Extra. Read all about.
Well, I have a lot of hate in my heart, so it had to come out.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, with our defense, it's the same exact. The problem is on the line of scrimmage, and it's just been that way. So, like, our secondary can be as good as it can be, but it won't show unless the line of scrimmage changes. And the line of scrimmage has been here even before, like, the guys that's been on there have been here way before him. And what we're seeing issues out of this defense again is something that we've saw for the last almost 6 years now. So, a lot of conversation on that defensive side. I don't think anybody's going to be a miracle saver for, quite frankly, anymore.
Well, North Carolina hasn't fielded a defense in almost 20 years, so.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, the last thing I'll say about it, and this is really, it's got. I have to preface this by, like, I'm being serious. Like, this is going to sound like I'm doing a bit. I'm not. He said that while he was Tech's head coach, and you're one of the only teams he was able to beat, he was gooning over your players. He was like, man, if I had their players, then I'd be able to play defense. So now he has that. So it's interesting to me that he's struggling.
Yeah, I think we are a team, and there is something that goes back and forth between, you know, Carolina's insiders and us. Look like Tarzan, play like Jane. That has been the issue for North Carolina for 6 years. You know, since Mac Brown's return, it's not changed. And we're honestly even longer than that, like Alan's talking about. It's been almost 20 since Mac was here the first time. Maybe some of the Butch Davis days. But
I mean, okay, you take away the JMU game. That I'm not sure what I'm not sure what happened to JMU. I don't think anybody has an answer for what happened to JMU.
I was in the stadium for that one. That was not fun. That
defense hasn't given up the most points outside of that. They gave up 34 to Pittsburgh.
And 34, but they also allowed a 21-point comeback and also had 500 yards of offense dropped on them last week.
Points. I'm talking about points in general. Outside of the JMU, they only allowed 34. So it's not like this defense is giving up, is just hemorrhaging points and they can't stop anybody.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with you haven't played great offenses yet, and the best one you saw was Pitt, and they dropped 500 yards of total offense and 34 points on you.
I mean, you say only 34. I mean, I would think most teams are not happy giving up 34 points.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, you got to average 35.
Have you seen the scores around college football? How many points did Georgia give up to Alabama?
Well, you have Georgia's offense.
That's turn around and see how many North Carolina and Pittsburgh.
But no, you're comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges, like teams to like teams. That's what you said in one of our. And look how Alabama was up big on Georgia. Nobody thought Georgia was going to have a chance. Alabama's defense then turned around and absolutely shit the bed.
And Alabama turns around and loses to Vanderbilt.
So, what are you saying, that you do have a good defense?
No. I'm not saying we have an awful deep. Everybody's like, "Oh, this defense is better than what we had 2 years ago." And
it's definitely improved. It is probably the best defense outside of the year that we went to the Orange Bowl that we've had. The problem is the issues are still the issues. They're just the last couple of weeks they've really been, or the last 3 weeks they've been really exposed. Bad.
And if North Carolina had a comparable offense, I don't think.
Now that
defensive issues
does have a part because a lot, teams are having a lot more bites at the apple, to say the least.
Sure, yeah.
And then you have a third string quarterback who, for some reason, just overthrows everybody, and it's getting on my nerves. Anyway,
we're gonna get out of here.
Oh yeah, score prediction. We gotta get your score predictions. Tell us score predictions.
Georgia Tech is a 6-point favorite.
Yeah, and
it's
I think they should be. They should be.
Well, Pittsburgh was only a 3.
Yeah, but then they also expected Carolina to bounce back out of the Duke game.
6 points seems like a lot. I mean, Georgia Tech's offense has struggled, and I mean, truth be told, like, North Carolina has a more talented roster, top to bottom, than Georgia Tech. For whatever reason, North Carolina can't beat Georgia Tech. I don't know why. It doesn't matter if you have a first-round quarterback, and we have Gibson who ran out of bounds against Virginia down 8. I don't know what, y'all have Miami's number for some reason. Seems, y'all go sting Miami. I said I was out of the score prediction business after we dropped 2 ACC games in a row. I don't like if Tech wins this game. I don't think it's going to be super high scoring. We just haven't. I mean, what's the most points we scored this year? Duke. What did we score against Duke?
Was it not 14? What was it? 17, 21, something?
No, it was 24. I think
24. Yeah.
I mean, until
24, 19. You scored 59 against VMI.
Yeah, no one cares about VMI, but yeah, we did scare them.
28 against Syracuse, 35 against Georgia State, and 24 against Florida State.
Georgia State's probably our best win. I do think Tech wins this game, and I'm kind of the mindset that until North Carolina can beat Georgia Tech, I'm just not going to predict North Carolina to beat Georgia Tech. And I'd probably say it's with our offense getting healthy again, 28-17. I'll go with that.
So, and honestly,
over under is at 58 points.
Well, I'm going way under then.
58 and a half.
I would say under. If it gets over, it's because Georgia Tech's just going absolutely nuts on offense, and Haynes King's just having a Heisman level day, which could very well happen considering the offensive line that you guys got. That's for sure. I'll say this much: Georgia Tech and Virginia have been the two schedule busters for the last few years for us. And Mac, watch, I'm about to spin this. Mac Brown has talked about how this team's going to get better at the end of the season. What if it's the Georgia Tech game and then the Virginia game that Carolina turns it around and wins the rest of the games and finishes 9-3? Hot dog booking.
Well, I've put my hair.
Dreaming is free.
I put my hair on the line. If you win, I'll shave my head live on stream. So
I'm doing a watch party for that. So
yeah.
Hot dog. Maybe we'll let Jeff Collins shave it for you.
Oh, man. I challenged him to a cage match, and he blocked me on Twitter, so I don't know. I'm still waiting.
I did see that. Man. You guys have gotten a lot of extra stuff here at the Scouting Report. Hope you guys are having fun. This is a good game. This is a game that, I honestly, I like Georgia Tech personally. I don't know what it is. I always have. I guess just because we went back when we were youngins. We went to school at a place that was the Yellow Jackets. So I guess it's just kind of you put 2 to 2 together and just stupid little, hey, I like them because of the name. So but that and the color scheme, my favorite color scheme, St. Louis Rams, navy, gold, and white. That's how you do it. But hey, thank you guys for watching. Thank you all for being here. Put your comments down below. Tell us what you think about this scouting report, and tell us what you think about the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets coming into Kenan Stadium. If you are a Georgia Tech viewer and a fan and you haven't subscribed over to Rec Talk, be sure to go down below, click the description, click the link, go over there, hit subscribe, and join in on all the Rec Talk and Jeff Collins hate if you're about that life too. And have a good time. This should be a fun game for you guys. Is that like a picture of Jeff or something?
Yeah, he blamed COVID for why he sucked, so I have COVID 1, Colin 0.
All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And as always, go Heels.
You got it. Go Heels.
You don't want none.